BWOne here from BWOne, and you decided to pick yourself up an LG G2. That LG G2 comes with an awesome 13 megapixel camera. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to take awesome photos using that 13 megapixel camera in the LG G2. Alright, it's time we start taking good pictures with that LG G2 camera that you have. And it's a 13 megapixel camera with optical image stabilization, or OIS, which is automatically on within the phone here. So it basically allows you to, if you're shaking a little bit or anything like that, it keeps the phone sort of nice and steady, the lens nice and steady there to take the best shot without being blurry, bringing the most lighting and all that sort of stuff. But let's take a look at the interface and some of the settings that you can sort of change here. Now, by default, you can see that the viewfinder is basically the entire screen. And if you want to take a photo, we'll bring in Super Mario 3D Land here. You want to take a photo, you just basically hit the camera button. Boom, photo's taken just like that. You can see down there in the gallery to review it. If you hold the button down, it'll do a little bit of focusing, then you release. And you can take a picture that way as well too. Now, if you want to change the way the viewfinder looks here, as you can see, it's at the entire screen. It's actually taking a picture in a widescreen mode, which is a little bit smaller in resolution at 10 megapixels. But if you want a full 13 megapixels, you have to go into the settings right there, a little icon I showed you. Brings it up, and now it takes in a 13 megapixel shot. Now it doesn't take as wide as a shot, so it won't get everything as far as left to right as much as sort of the 10 megapixel shot will, but this will, however, get pretty much better from top to bottom as far as how much you can get into the photo. So this is a little bit better here for taking a better picture of Super Mario 3D Land, just like that. Okay, so that's your basic picture taking there, but there are a ton of options that are available to you. You see you have your flash options for flash on, flash off, flash automatic. You can switch between the front and rear facing cameras here. So that's my fingers over the camera. And now the big thing here is the modes. When you hit mode, you're presented with this grid or the dialer, which I kind of like sort of the thumb dial a little bit better for sort of navigating around. And this gives you your shooting modes that you can use. So you have normal, you have shoot and clear, so you could take a photo and basically if somebody walks into the photo, you can remove them from the photo. You have dynamic tone or HDR shots. Panorama shots, always a favorite. You have VR panorama, which allows you to sort of take a 360-degree photo, similar to what we've seen in sort of, I think, the Android, sort of the stock Android sort of Google Atmosphere photosphere photos that you can take on the Nexus phones. You have burst shot, beauty shot, dual camera, so that allows you to take a picture using the front and rear facing camera, and you can sort of have different settings with that. We'll actually tap into that real quickly here, and we'll do not show again here. Basically allows you to sort of play around with the camera, and if you tap here at the bottom, it gives you options to choose from. So you can make that a stamp, make it a circle, and you can move this around anywhere you want it to go. You can have it an instant photo, star shape, split the view, another split view here, a little more diagonal, fisheye, all sorts of fun stuff. Hit mode, we'll come back out of that. You have time catch, which captures the moment before you press the shutter. You have intelligent auto, which automatically identifies the scene's characteristics and tries to give you the best scene option available to take the photo. You have sport. And you have a night mode here, so you can capture dark areas without flash. So those are the modes that you can get. I kind of like doing it this way. It's a little easier to sort of navigate through it. It makes the sort of the examples of what you're trying to take a little bit more pronounced and bigger. But if you don't want to scroll through, you can go through this way, and it pretty much puts them all within one section here in one little like grid. So it's pretty nice. And to go back, we'll go back to normal here, back to the normal mode. There's your modes. Now we're going to hop into the settings here. You can have the cheese shutter, which we'll turn it on. And what that does, it allows you to basically do a voice command to be able to take a picture. And we'll do something here. We'll do smile. Takes a photo. So that's pretty cool. Allows you to hold it steady, and you don't have to move your finger and shake the camera around. You do have your brightness controls. You have your focus controls. We just showed you the size controls earlier. Your ISO levels, white balance. You can set these all. ISO. You have your color effects that you can change with it. You you have a timer, so you can set this for a 3, 5, or 10-second timer before it snaps the photo. You have your auto review, so after you take a picture, it'll just basically pop it up for you, and you can have the auto review either on or off. And it gives you options, which is pretty cool, of 2 seconds or 5 seconds for that auto review. You have geotagging, which basically it'll use a GPS to take a picture, so it'll store that GPS information within the picture. You can change the shutter tones, or you can turn it off, which is what a lot of people like to do. You have the volume key, which unfortunately is here on the back, so I'm not sure why you'd want to take the volume key, because it's right here in the back, right near the camera, and not probably in the best area to use it as a capture button, but you can also use it as a zoom if you want to. And you get help and reset. But zoom also works just by pinching the zooming in like this. Get all the way into that Mario. Get the R in Mario. Zoom back out like that. And there you go. So there's all the modes, options, stuff to choose from. We'll actually swipe down here, and we can take a look at the camera mode, which is at 1080p. We can do different mode settings in here as well too. You have normal, you have live effects, so you can actually do different effects to different people as they're in focus. We don't have anybody in focus in front of us. You can do small mouth, big nose, small eyes, all sorts of fun, goofy things here with it, which I believe will need a face, a human face, to actually accomplish these things. But that's one idea of live effects. You have dual recording, which allows you the same thing as with dual shot. Record with the front and rear facing camera. Let's go tap here at the bottom. It should be sliding up there. You can change that. Fisheye, and you can move this around, and you should actually be able to move this around while recording as well too. As you can see, to record sort of at the same time. Let's see here, you can actually switch lenses in the middle of the recording as well too. Nice stuff. Swipe that down, stop there, and as you're recording, it'll have both the front and rear facing camera in one video file for you to use. Going back to modes here, you have tracking zoom, so you can allow you to select the focus area to enlarge it and view in a small screen and take video as well. And back to your normal mode, and you can grid these as well too if you want to put a grid here. Seems like LG's put some space here. Maybe you can add some different modes to it in the future, which would be really nice if they can do that. But I like doing this more, just being able to sort of thumb through. I think it's just a lot easier to navigate between the different options. And you do have the flash, no flash option as well. You do have your different modes to switch back and forth between, different camera view, switch back and forth between, and your settings here at the bottom. You can have audio zoom, which just allows, basically when you zoom in, it's going to try and capture the audio zoomed in as well too. So if something's from a distance and you want to hear that as well, it's going to try and grab that audio. You have HD recording here with it at 1920 by 1080, 30 frames per second. You do have 720p, 320 by 240 and MMS recording, but you also have full HD at 1020 at 60 frames per second as well too, so you can record at a pretty high frame rate. And actually within the software application, you should be able to sort of do a little bit of sort of slow-mo with the 60 frames per second shots. You do have the brightness, white balance, and color effects you can choose from. Auto review, geotagging, volume key to record, and you can go back to reset the buttons just like that. So there you go. Those are the modes in the video, and back to the pictures here, which is what you're going to be using probably most of the time. It's just so easy to capture a really, really great photo. Smile, take that nice photo, hit down there at the bottom. You can review your photo, see some cool pictures that you're taking, and get really the most out of the LG G2's camera, definitely. And with optical image stabilization, it's gonna help with your low light. It's gonna help with your, in case you're moving things around a little bit and you're like, as you take a shot, it's gonna try and help that out a little bit. You can see I moved a little bit, but it was able to still capture a very, very good shot, even though I moved just a little bit there with it. So that's pretty much the camera on the LG G2. My tips to you are definitely play around with the settings. I think voice command is something definitely you want to turn on. Set your modes, definitely use these. Put it on the dial so you can kind of scroll through them. Definitely fun modes of VR and panorama mode, your beauty shot mode. All these will just help you take just a much better photo. And also just remember in the settings here, if you want to get a 13 megapixel shot, you're going to want to go in here and change that. If you want to do a 10 megapixel, you can do that, but there's also 8:1 if you want to do those as well too. So you want to do a standard shot or a widescreen shot. Those are the two options there to choose from. So to be sure to play around with that. Overall, these tips should help you get the best photo available that you can get out of LG G2's 13 megapixel camera. So this is BWOne here from BWOne. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, just like this here, a nice thumbs up. Also, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube page and connect with us on all our social networks from Google+, Facebook, Twitter, all those sorts of things. The link to that is in the description and at our main website at BWOne.com. And as always, remember to live your tech world in high definition. Thanks for watching.